Let's go over new details for Star Wars The Last Jedi. This is Mike Zero here once again. If you guys are new here to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, recently, director Rian Johnson spoke with the New York Times and revealed some new details about this film when it comes to some of our key characters. So, what he had to say about Rey and Kylo Ren was very interesting. So, here's what he said. Rey and Kylo are almost two halves of our protagonist. It's not like Kylo is our Vader. In the original trilogy, Vader is the father. He's the one you are afraid of, and who you want the approval of. Whereas Kylo represents anger and rebellion, the sometimes healthy and sometimes not, desire to disconnect from the parents. It's my favorite kind of quote-unquote bad guy, because you can genuinely see what their weakness is. On to Reys Parents. If I had questions, what did you think this was going to be? What were your ideas for this? I could always ask him, but those questions only addressed what these characters want and how they get there. Take the question of who Reys parents are. If you get the information, oh, it's that, who really cares? I know a lot of people care, but it's interesting as opposed to impactful. Now, what is my place in the world? Where do I come from? Where do I belong? Okay, I understand what the weight of that is. We could play with those questions and their answers to have the biggest emotional impact on these characters. Now, on to Luke and Leia. Ryan had something very, very cool to say. That was the first thing I had to figure out. Why is Luke on that island? And I didn't have any answers. But it's not like you can just pick anything you want out of the air. I grew up having a sense of who Luke Skywalker is. It guides you to a very specific path. I know he's not hiding on that island. I know he's not a coward. He must be there for a reason that he believes in. You are finding a path forward, but there end up being fewer choices than you think. Now, when he got onto Carrie Fisher, it gets a little emotional. When she passed away, we were pretty deep into post-production. When we came back to the edit room after New Year's, it was so hard. We went through all her scenes. I felt very strongly that we don't try to change her performance. We don't adjust what happens to her in this movie. Emotionally, you can't help recontextualize it. Now that she's gone, it's almost eerie how there are scenes that have emotional resonance and a meaning, especially now. She gives a beautiful and complete performance in this film. And, well, he also goes on to The Last Jedi and the meaning of that. It's in the opening crawl of The Force Awakens. Luke Skywalker, right now, is the Last Jedi. There's always wiggle room in these movies. Everything is from a certain point of view. But coming into our story, he is the actual last of the Jedi, and he's removed himself and is alone on this island, for reasons unknown. And, of course, finally he goes on to Luke Skywalker a little bit more, and the meaning of his quote in the teaser trailer. That's him. It sounds pretty dire. That's something that we're definitely going to dig into. The heart of the movie is Luke and Rey. It follows all the other characters, but its real essence is the development of the two of them, and it's absolutely tied up in that question of what is Luke's attitude toward the Jedi. When it comes to that line, it's time for the Jedi to end. So there you have it, guys. That is the very interesting article from the New York Times where Rian Johnson actually answered a couple of questions. So, hope you all enjoyed the video for today, and if you did, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.